Hello, everybody. I want to tell you a quick story. I have a class that starts in about 15 minutes. So before I do that, I want to tell you about this. When I was 12 years old, living with my mother in Clarkston, Georgia, my friend and I, we were 12 years old, my friend and I were in a bike race. And he and I were racing around the apartment complex. And the end of the race was down this steep, curved hill. And to the end of the parking lot. Well, we were racing to the bottom of the hill and I lost control of my bike. I went over the curb, I slid through some gravel, and I hit the wire, the steel cable, the braided cable that comes off of the telephone lines. I was actually clotheslined. You can't really see it now as I've gotten older and just whatever, it's kind of stretched out, but you can still see the line. I still have to shave sideways for where my neck was cut. So, anyway, um, I jumped up, started to dust off my bike, get back on my bike, and then all the other kids that were in the grass playing like softball or something started running over to me and they were like, D, you're bleeding. And I was like, what are you talking about? And I looked down and there was blood everywhere. And then I did like this because that's where I felt the pulsing. And I looked at my hand and it was immediately covered in blood. And then I passed out. And I don't really remember hardly much after that. I kind of, if any of you have read my book, I talk about the woman who was in an explosion and she wakes up for 2 seconds and she takes in everything and then she passes back out. I actually got that from my own story because I know what that's like. And so I remember kids screaming and then him picking me up, my friend, this other 12-year-old kid picking me up, and then I passed out again. And then I remember all the kids around him screaming and yelling and him saying, "Come on, D, get up, man." And him actually uh, taking me in his arms and walking me up this steep hill, carrying me up a huge steep hill. Remember, we just biked down the road, and so the shortcut was straight up the grass. And so he carried me up this hill to my mother's apartment. And then I think I vaguely remember the door opening, and I only know the rest of this because it was told to me. Um, and then at some point, my mom, who was a nurse at the time, got me to got it cleaned up some, put pressure on it. Tissue was hanging out of my neck. And I'm just holding pressure and she's speeding to the hospital. So we get there and they do all their stuff. I'm passed out. And later on, when I go to get stitches out, I find out that there were like 17 stitches dissolvable in my neck, and then um, like 30 something on the outside of my neck. And the doctor said that I think it was like a third of a centimeter deeper, right? So a centimeter is 2.5 centimeters in an inch. So like a third of a centimeter deeper, and there would have been no getting me up from where my bike fell. That I would have bled so much that I wouldn't have moved from that spot. And had my friend not picked me up and got me home, I might not have made it long enough for my mom to do what she did to stabilize me, to get me to the hospital so I wouldn't bleed out anyway. So here I am, 39, almost 40, right? I'll be 40 this year. And, I don't want to brag on myself because it's not about me at all. But the Lord's blessed me to do many, many things and help many, many people in many, many ways. There are people out there who can say that I've saved their lives. And there are people out there who say I've changed their lives. And there are people that I know and I recognize that I've influenced their lives. Not me, but how the Lord has used me. Um, and I mean, just period, and just being a husband and a father and having been a son for all this time, and just other life accomplishments don't really matter, but that's not the point. The point is, when it was all said and done, none of that would have happened if it weren't for my friend doing what he did. And when I came home from the hospital and it was safe to have visitors, um, my friends came to see me, many of them. And when this guy came over, the one that carried me home, my father asked him, "What do you need? Anything you ever need, just let me know. We got you." And him being a kid, he said, "I want a starter jacket." That's all he could think of, I guess. And so, um, he never got that starter jacket from my dad, and that's okay. But I found this guy on Facebook maybe 5 months ago, and I found out that he's having his own life threatening issues, life threatening medical conditions going on. And I would like to be there for him, how he was there for me. I did buy him that starter jacket. I haven't given it to him yet because I'm not going to give it to him until I can put it in his hand myself. But I would also like to be able to help him through his situation. I would like to be able to offer him a small chunk of probably the bills that he's got to deal with to not only pay the bills, but just restart his life after he's had to relinquish so much in order to be cared for and whatever. So that's why I'm doing this, because as you can see, I got a regular office and a regular job. you know um, I can't necessarily do it out of pocket, but I can do it with you guys. If you give $1, $5, $10, $20, whatever, I know it's not your responsibility, but it would be a great honor to me, and it would mean the world if I could give part of back to him what he gave to me. Thank you so much.